Why babies are more amazing than you think. Did you ever stop and wonder just how fascinating babies really are? Sure, they're cute and cuddly, but behind those big eyes and tiny hands lies a whole world of surprising and weird facts. Babies, especially newborns, are full of mysteries that can catch even the most seasoned parents off guard. They might be small, but they've got plenty of secrets. As they grow, we get to witness so many incredible things, but from the very beginning, they can do things that are nothing short of magical. It's almost like babies have their own set of special powers that we're just beginning to understand. Ready to dive into some fun and mind-boggling facts about babies? Let's explore 11 weird things you probably didn't know about these tiny humans. First, here's something that will probably surprise you. Babies are born without kneecaps. Yes, you read that right. When babies come into the world, they don't actually have the kneecaps that adults do. Instead, they have soft cartilage, where the kneecap will eventually be. This cartilage acts as a placeholder, so while it looks like they have knees, there are no fully formed kneecaps there just yet. Over time, this cartilage will harden and form into proper kneecaps. By around 6 months of age, their kneecaps will start to become more like the ones we have as adults. So, the next time you see a baby crawling around, just remember, no kneecaps yet. Next up is something about babies and their weight. You might assume that babies born in the winter months like January would weigh the most, right? After all, the holiday season comes with lots of eating and family gatherings, and maybe some of that would affect babies. But believe it or not, studies have shown that babies born in May tend to be the heaviest. Yes, May-born babies can weigh up to 200 grams more than babies born in other months. Why May? Well, no one's entirely sure, but it could have something to do with how seasons affect pregnancy. Either way, if you have a May baby, don't be surprised if they come into the world a little heavier than expected. Now, here's a strange fact that might make you rethink what you know about babies crying. Sure, babies scream and wail when they need something, but did you know that newborns don't actually cry tears at first? It's true. Even though it sounds like a baby is crying when they scream, they're not producing actual tears in the early days. Babies are great at making noise to get attention, but their tear ducts haven't quite kicked into gear yet. It usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks after birth before babies start to cry real tears. Until then, they're just making a lot of noise. Speaking of things that are different for babies compared to adults, let's talk about bones. Babies are born with around 300 bones. That's a lot more than adults, who only have 206 bones. So, what happens to all those extra bones? As babies grow, many of their bones will fuse together, which is why adults end up with fewer bones. For example, a baby's skull is made up of several bones that eventually join together as they get older. This flexibility in their bones is actually really important, especially during birth, as it allows the baby's head to move and fit through the birth canal. Over time, those separate bones will come together to form the adult skeleton we all know. Here's something that might amaze you. Babies can hear incredibly well right from the moment they're born. In fact, newborns can hear just as well as adults can. However, everything sounds new and different to them, so they might get startled by certain sounds. And here's a cool fact. Babies can recognize their father's voice almost immediately. Even though they've spent months hearing their mother's voice from inside the womb, they're also able to recognize the sound of their father's voice from the very first moment. It's like they've been paying attention all along. And what about those adorable heads of hair some babies are born with? You might be surprised to learn that the hair your baby is born with often doesn't stick around for long. Many newborns enter the world with a full head of thick dark hair, but don't get too attached to it. In the first few weeks after birth, it's common for babies to lose that initial hair. It might gradually fall out, leaving your baby with a totally different look. And when the hair does grow back, it might come in with a different texture or color than they were born with. It's like they get a second chance at a new hairstyle. Now let's talk reflexes. Babies are born with all sorts of reflexes that help them survive and grow. In fact, newborns have around 70 reflexes, many of which are instinctual. One of the more famous ones is the grasp reflex. If you place your finger in a baby's hand, they'll automatically grasp it tightly. Another reflex is the stepping reflex. If you hold a baby upright with their feet touching a flat surface, they'll make little stepping motions, almost like they're trying to walk. Of course, they're not ready to walk just yet, but it's amazing how their little bodies are already wired for such complex movements. Have you ever noticed how sleepy babies are? It seems like they spend most of their early days just sleeping, and that's not far from the truth. Babies need a lot of sleep to support their rapid growth and development. But here's something really interesting. During the first few months, babies are only fully alert for about 2 to 3 minutes every hour.
Bit older that they start staying awake for longer stretches of time. So if it feels like your newborn is constantly sleeping, that's completely normal.
Now here's a fun fact that might surprise you. Babies can recognize music and voices they heard while still in the womb. Research has shown that babies can remember sounds they were exposed to during pregnancy. So if you played a certain song or sang to your baby while they were still inside the womb, they might recognize those sounds after they're born. It's amazing to think that babies are already developing memories and preferences before they even enter the world. Here's another beautiful connection between mothers and their babies. When a mother and her newborn make eye contact, their heart rates can synchronize. Studies have shown that a mother's heartbeat and her baby's can match up within seconds of making eye contact. It's almost like their bodies are communicating in a way that goes beyond words. This heart-to-heart connection is just one of the many ways that mothers and their babies are deeply bonded from the very start. Finally, let's talk about taste buds. Babies are born with a lot more taste buds than adults. In fact, newborns have around 10,000 taste buds, while adults have about 5,000. These extra taste buds are spread out not just on the tongue, but also on the roof of the mouth and the sides. By the time babies are in their third trimester of pregnancy, they already have their sense of taste developed. So when they're born, they're ready to experience a wide range of tastes. No wonder babies can be so sensitive to different flavors. And there you have it, 11 weird and wonderful facts about babies. From their extra bones to their impressive sense of hearing, these tiny humans are full of surprises. They might be small, but they've got some incredible abilities that will leave you amazed. Babies truly are a bundle of joy, curiosity, and wonder, all wrapped up into one adorable package. So, the next time you see a baby, remember just how extraordinary they really are.